Welcome back to another episode of The Road to 2200. I am at 1957. My opponent is 1903. We're going to play some Queen's Pawn action here. And yeah, let's see how this goes. Okay, so is this like some sort of delayed London? Is that what's happening? Just go here, here. I don't really know what that is. Seems reasonable to go here, even if they're going to follow up with g4. h6, h3 feels very... What the heck is happening? That also feels very strange. It seems like I would want to go d7. And then... Like the problem is they can't drop in f4 like they could if they had put the knight. I've never seen anyone put the bishop in the middle like that. It's a very interesting move. It's almost like they tried to take here and messed up, but I'm not seeing any take back requests or anything. I guess it is a point that if I take here, they can now take, and my pawns are a little bit wonky, but my center is very strong at that point. So I think it's worth it. I think it's worth taking here, and then I just take here and win a pawn, so they have to do something about that. They don't have a good anything to do about it other than take. So I have to assume they're taking me. I suppose that's not true. They could just run back, and then I could take them. And then they've moved their bishop a pile of times for very little value. I don't know. It's a weird move. It's a very weird move. And especially the fact that they're taking a while. Like, you didn't think that was coming? Like, what move were they expecting? What was sort of the point of that move? Okay. So if the point of the move was to double my pawns, then sure, okay. But I just, like I said, I'm not too upset about this structure. Like, it seems very strong, right? Like, we're holding a lot of stuff. Now I will say, playing b6 totally weakens this pawn, which I mean this square, c6, which I don't love, but I am planning to just castle, or not, jeez, planning to put my rook on c8 and occupy this open file, or half open file. The thing is, if I go here, like, what is my bishop doing anyway? I don't know. Do I want my bishop there? Or would I rather have, like, my bishop here and here? I'm not sure. And where are my knights going? Like, I don't really know where my pieces are going in this setup. I will say that. But just playing e5 looks pretty reasonable. Take. And I have a nice big pawn structure. So I think I just castle and then kind of figure out what I'm doing with this setup soon. But I think I can castle first and come back to it. I suppose this was a reasonable play, knight e4, before they bring their knight out, and then after they do, I could feasibly play f5, but I just kind of feel like castling was right there. It's just so much is in flux. I don't really know what I want to do, and I know one move I want to make. It's castling. Okay, so they are going to play c3, which seems very reasonable. What do we think? Is e5 the move? If they take at all, it just makes my pawns lovelier. I guess if I go here, they take, and I take back, this d-pawn on d5 is a little bit vulnerable. Whereas right now, it's kind of covered up and looks very safe. I'm kind of tempted to go here, here, because this pawn is covering the hole. It kind of looks nice. I guess the question is, if I do that, let's say they move the knight, I guess maybe there, I don't know. I play f5. What happens when they play f3 and they kick my knight? I guess then their king is just very vulnerable now because of that. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to move the knight a second time in the opening before developing any of this stuff, which maybe is a mistake. But it just feels strong, and it's really now or never. Like, they're going to play knight b to d2 eminently, right? Like, that's just going to happen. There's no way they're not going to do that. And if they play like bishop d3 with the intention of trading off, I think I'm fine there. Like, I think I would be perfectly happy to just take back this way, have the open f-file, have a very strongly rooted knight. I've made this hole, but it's covered thanks to my opponent. So I think this is better than opening up the position and having my doubled pawns be kind of like targets. This just feels stronger to me. Okay, and like they're starting to feel a little bit like, what do they do? Okay, but we're back to what do I do? What do I do with this bishop? Like, this c-file doesn't look that appealing. Probably some sort of minority attack is what I'll end up doing over here. And maybe the way to do it is like this. It's a little bit different than usual. But I guess, what if I go here and they play b4? How annoying will that be? Also looking at things like, where is this knight going? Like, this hole? Here, here, here? That actually looks kind of cool. I could go here, here, here. So I think what I'm going to do is play a6 and hope they don't play b4. If they do play b4, then I might just play like rook over, attack the pawn. Because if I try to play rook b8 first, they can still just play a4. Also, what about this idea? Queen attacking b2. If they push the b pawn, then c pawn is very weak. All right, I'm going to go here with the idea of following up with b5. If they play a4, I won't be happy, but they didn't, so that's very nice of them. Okay, so now I feel like I can play a4 or b5. I don't know, this is kind of funny. It's like I'm playing on both sides of the board when did I need to do that? Couldn't I have just attacked over here? I don't know. What is this bishop doing? Okay, wait, I think we're still doing this. And then if they play here or b5, I think that's okay. I guess we still have to worry about this kind of stuff. So let's say I play here, knight to b3. I think then I play a5. So the plan is to go here, and then if they take, bam, I go here, and things are pretty good. Actually, I don't know if I want to do that. The more I think about it, maybe I should have just played rook a to b8, pushed the minority attack as normal. I'm not sure. I'm very unclear about how to play this. I feel like I have so many choices that I'm not sure. I'm also a bit tempted to play knight a4, hitting this pawn, hitting the c3 pawn twice. So what do? They can't push the pawn. Are they really going to babysit the pawn with one of the heavy pieces? They might have to. I'm not entirely sure what that does. I mean, there's a piece of me also that's like, why don't we just go like this? Like, they've already made a hook here. Also this, like, there's so many reasonable looking choices. Also, just develop the bishop anywhere, like here perhaps. And then at least it's covering this, and we can do this kind of stuff also. I think that's where we're going to start, is just, let's get the bishop a little bit out of the way. Like, now everything is connected on the bottom row. Maybe I'm going like this. I don't know. We've got options here for sure. Okay, so we went there. It's an interesting choice. So now if I play a5, b4, b4 takes. Wow. Okay. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the minority attack. I don't really know what to do. I feel like I have so many options here. I think, in fact, I'm going to look at this game with my coach and see what he thinks is the best choice. Because my guess is they're both fine. He just moves there. Okay. I could go here now, threatening this pawn again. And then have to deal with it again. But here, 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 here. This is all standard stuff. I think this is fine. Just gonna proceed with this. We're gonna mess up their queenside pawns. I don't know if this was the right way to go. But, yeah. This maybe is pretty decent now. I don't know. I don't want to take there. And if they take and I take, my pawns are really mangled. And if they take and I do nothing and then they push by, I guess this is pretty good for me. Right? Having this pawn here has been really useful. Okay, so I'm going to take. I assume they won't take here. That usually is fairly ugly if they do. But I guess they're up a pawn, right? Like, I don't know. I don't quite know what I did wrong there. I did something wrong. They're not supposed to be up a pawn. I didn't calculate. I just played what I normally would play there, and I don't think it went that well. Interesting. So I just dropped a pawn. Okay. Well, surprise. What about here, hitting this pawn, allowing the queen to go there? Ooh, what about this? Where's the queen going? If the queen goes there, I come back with rook. And then if the queen goes here after that, then I have this. Yeah, this looks really intriguing. Can they go knight here to block and just have it be no problem at all? Maybe. If they block with the knight, first of all, okay, no, that's fine. So they block with the knight. Maybe that's fine. Maybe they can just block with the knight. It's more that I want the knight out of the way than anything else. So maybe I just go knight here. Threatening to take. Threatening to go here. Although then the knight has no escape square. So it actually doesn't work. No, it's not hanging the knight. Boy, what a tough decision here. Okay, I'm gonna go here. So I can put like this rook here. I can also maybe put the double here. I'll put the knight there. And if they bring the knight over, I think, the rook over, I think I'm fine with that. I think I'll just move over here. And now I'm on this pawn. And now I can really start trying to mow down these two pawns. Because while they're up a pawn, they're both weak. And I think we can make some sort of claim that they're not really up a pawn. That I should be able to get it back without too much trouble. Also wondering why I haven't considered just moves like this. Just like bullying my way through their king side. Maybe I should consider that. I could even go like here, here, here. I don't quite know what that accomplishes. Also, rook takes, queen takes, rook here seems reasonable. Oh, well, that seems even more reasonable. Okay, I don't really know what that's about, unless the reasons they're going to go there with the queen. Okay. I still think I'm okay to just go here and target this. Yeah. And then this rook can come down here and target this guy. We can go like this. Seems reasonable. It's a bit unclear to me where their queen is going now. There. Is that disastrous? I do have this move. I'm looking at probably here, or even going back to here, or even here. So many decent choices. Yeah, I guess if I go here, maybe queen goes to b3, attacking the rook, giving me some problems. So I think I'd rather just... Oh, got it. If I go to a4, then they can go there. And that's kind of an issue. I didn't think about that. What am I doing with this knight? I think what I'm going to do is bring it back around to d7 with, like, here, attack the queen. Then knight d7. Yeah, so I'm going to go here. Oh, wait. What about the pawn up? Jeez, there's so many little annoying things going on. Okay, I'm going to go this way. And the idea here is now I can bring the knight over and it doesn't get pinned. That's the thought process there. And I get yet another free move is they have to move the queen again. And if they move the queen to here, I think now I could attack it with the bishop. And then they have to move over. It's going to be hard to win this pawn. I feel harder than I thought. I should probably, or should have at least considered going rook b8. Okay. That's going to make it easier to win the pawn than I thought it would. Okay, so now I go here. Pawn is in danger. Yeah. Seems fine. If they do something like this, then I think that's fine. I take. Okay. So yeah, I think my instinct was right there, that I didn't quite calculate that right, and I'm not supposed to drop that pawn, but even dropping it wasn't that bad. It was more like it slowed me down than devastated me. And actually now, I quite like this bishop move to b5. Their bishop seems better than... Maybe it's not that good, though. I don't know. It's hard to say whose bishop is better. Something interesting I didn't think about is now, after this knight takes, I could probably take back d takes e4. And that's going to be, I think, pretty strong. I can go like here and here. Okay, I kind of thought that might be where they went with this. But if I go takes here, here, and then they go here, what is going on with the bishop? Ooh, no, that's not hanging. But that's hanging too. Is that what I want to do? Or do I just go here and just say stuff's still held together pretty well? They can't really guard this pawn twice. Yeah, this kind of looks better. Just, you can have that open file right now. With the, I think I'd rather their rook was there than their queen was there. The rook's going to be kind of hard to penetrate. Okay. It doesn't seem to fix anything, right? I can just take with the bishop, which I was thinking about doing anyway. takes. Rook can go there then. But then I can go here. Yeah, seems pretty strong. Seems like I'm gonna maybe win another pawn. Unless I'm missing something tactically. This guy's holding that together. If he goes here and I go there, seems pretty strong. And if he tries to go there, I still have this move. I think maybe here. Nope. Yeah, could go there. And then here. Whoa. Okay. Then these knights are really, really humming. Like this knight could go from Loserville to big time real fast. Like, how are they supposed to guard this? This knight is turning out to be very bad for them. And this knight, not that much better. Like, it's just, I don't know. These knights seem to be doing very little, and my knight is kind of big beast mode. I'm a little bit surprised they haven't just traded these knights yet. That would actually make their position a lot better. This pawn would be weaker. Could be targetable, but definitely looking to go here next. Probably, actually, I would take with the queen. Yeah, that seems right. Okay, so then the question is, which way are we going? Ah, they have that knight move. Ooh, that I didn't realize. After I take here, knight goes here. That pawn is vulnerable. Do I need to push? Takes. Maybe. But then this is here. A lot happening. Then the rook penetrating seems much worse for me. I mean, I have to take. So which way are we going? I think we're going this way. Continuing to really blunt that queen. And then after here, probably here. Maybe here. Because then we might be able to trap the knight after that move. But then the rook goes to here. So is there another way to do this? Like here. And then knight has no move. Ah, that's available all of a sudden. Then we have this. It's just a lot happening. It's a very... No, that's still covered. Okay. But yeah, I think after knight g5, I'm okay. I think I just drop back, guard this infiltration square. H5 would actually trap this knight. It has no escape squares. This is covered. Everything's covered. So it'll be interesting because it looks like an obvious move for my opponents, just to come in, grab that, and be in business. Because if they can grab e6, I think they're doing pretty well. I guess the question is, if given the chance, do I go queen takes, rook takes? So the problem is then their rook comes down here, and they've infiltrated, and I'm not sure I want that. Okay. Yeah, I think maybe here is the way to go. And then I have this ultra strong knight. Here. Where's this knight going? I guess here? To do what? To go there. Okay. I mean, I could go here. No, that doesn't work. I would take. So yeah, this looks pretty good. Seems to take away my opponent's knight moves. That just seems pretty strong. I'm up a pawn now. That whole process of obliterating the queenside pawns really paid off nicely. I think we can go knight d3. Have a very strong knight. If they send their knight into c4, well, we can just push this. If I were my opponent, I would probably just play rook c7. I probably would have played that a long time ago and just kind of said, I don't know, but hopefully this can do something useful. Because then after I move the knight, let's say you go queen c2, and now you're threatening to infiltrate with the queen, and maybe you pop something loose in a position where you seem to be struggling. Trying to look at other possibilities. There's no back rank type stuff here. Doesn't that... It doesn't hang a knight, does it? Because they take my queen, they take. Yeah, and then I'm just up one in a rook ending. Is that what I want? I don't know that's what I want. Because I could go here. Maybe that doesn't work. They take... Yeah, no, that would work, right? I go here. I'm hitting their rook. What they take... They could go... Oh, they could go check here. I'm not hitting their rook anymore. I think this is the way to do it. We're going to go like this. And we're going to kind of cover up here. Wait, do we have something better before we just make the auto move? No. Okay. They're going to take there. And then I think I'm just going to go to the second rank. Not let them in. Play this, and try to win with my pawn up. That's my initial thought. Let me see if I can do something better, though. Maybe I can. Maybe I can go there, get the free move. If they take the second rank, then they go here. I could go there. I just don't really want my king to be imprisoned on the second rank, I guess. So I'm going to go here with the idea of activating my king. And probably going to also try to gain some space over there. Yeah, I think probably this is right. I guess then they could go there, stopping this. So maybe if I go here, here, probably be okay with that. Here. Okay, we'll expand over here. I think my pass pawn is going to come through this avenue. It's like maybe... Oh. Wow. Jeez, I really misplayed that. Okay. Interesting. I guess I gotta go here then. And then... I think I go here so they can't get in, and then I go here. Okay, so I think he's going to try to come around, actually, this way. So I think I want to stay here, so I can go like that. So I think here maybe... Whew. Okay, I can't really see. I gotta fix my glasses. Oh, no. Losing time here. What do I do? I mean, if nothing else, I can come up. Like, I want to do that. So the question was whether I come here or here. Okay, going there. Yeah. I think I want to go here. Takes, and then we can make the passer. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, because, like, there. I guess I have this. No, I guess I was thinking when they went here I could push this. Ah, okay. I missed something. No, I guess not. Takes, I go that way. And here. Then this pawn is disconnected, and I am hoping I can pick it up. There. See if this works. Swinging around the back might work. Trying to grab all the space might end up backfiring. be a little bit embarrassing. Okay. I think that's what I wanted. And then if here, here. And then if comes back. Right. Then I think... Do I just push now? Push. Goes here, here. Takes. Maybe that doesn't work. So I go here. And then if he comes down, then I go around this way. Try to hold on to everything this way. And now I'm behind my passer. Problem is you can just get a draw here with this stuff. And I don't know how I get out of that, because the rook was supposed to be able to go in front of the king, and now it cannot. Yeah. So how do I do this? Here, 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 here. I'm gonna go here. To at least give him a chance to mess up at first before I do what I think I have to do. I think it might just be best to push this pawn now. No, because of that. I think I need to go here first. Here. And then maybe here. No, because you can take that. Okay. How do I do this? Here, here, here. Yeah, I don't think you can take there. But still, he'll get that. So which one do I want him to get? The middle one? There. Okay. There. And now I'm down a pawn. So I don't think there's anything I can do other than essentially offer a draw here by repeating. I think I messed it up. I think I messed this game up. I'm pretty sure I had to win it a lot of spots, but that's frustrating. That's chess. That's why it's so hard to gain rating. Like, you play a really good game, and then just something little goes awry, and then suddenly it's a draw, and you're like, wait, what? I thought that was mine to win. Okay, so I don't know what this was. I don't think I've ever seen this move. It almost never appears in master games. And then, interestingly, yeah, no. And the knight popping in here is normal, right? I've never seen anyone put their bishop in here, and it's not in the master's database. Of course, the engine says, what are we freaking out about? It's fine. It's a draw. All games are draws. But I still think that giving me this center was probably not optimal. Okay, I'll put my knight in here, which I think was a good idea. The engine agrees it's fine. F5 is the engine's #1 move. And then I kind of strayed away from this idea, and I decided to come over here. And the engine really likes, like, getting this guy over to prep G5, playing G5 now, playing D to F6, and replacing this knight with a knight when they take. Like that, of course I should have done that. I don't know what I was doing there. I think what I was thinking was that they were going to take my knight with their knight, and I would want to take this way and have the F file. But so I would still, I could still do that if I wanted. So that was a mistake. I got too enamored with my play over here. But now the engine's like, it's fine. I got my bishop out of the way. The engine likes my position a lot. And then this is kind of like, what? You're giving a free pawn away? What are you doing? Funny enough, the engine really likes knight f6, which is a hard move to play when you feel like your knight is great. Okay, so I basically sacked a pawn without really intending to. I did get them both back without too much trouble. Like, it was quite a bit of work. But, you know, I get both of the pawns. and I think maybe I'm in a decent spot. The engine says, no, you're up a pawn now, but it's essentially a draw. So how are you going to make something of it? And that's a bad move. Okay. Now, this is certainly a move I looked at. And maybe this and then rook back could be decent. Engine likes rook b2. I don't know. Oh, I guess that's true. I didn't even look at this, that they can't even play this, right? Because then we just play it and we win the game. So now they're going... Oh, okay, they can go here. They can come back. And then we can offer a draw that way, or we can come back. So basically the engine likes coming to b7 anyway. So that's cool. And then here I probably should have gotten the king up instead of pushing the pawns. The engine says this is just all a draw, and that really doesn't matter what we're doing here. This is still all a draw. I'm trying to push as hard as I can. Here, d5 is the engine's best move. The engine likes all these moves, but the engine says, yeah, this is a draw. This is just a draw. And if I try to do something cute, if I try to come down, this is a loss. And I'm glad that I isolated that, right? It's very hard in chess to shift gears from, I'm going to win, I've got an extra pawn, to just kind of going like, hey, no matter what happened before this, maybe I did have a win, now I don't. Get it together. Don't try to win the unwinnable game. You're going to lose. So I'm happy that I was able to restrain myself. Also, it was never a win anyway. I want to look at the computer analysis. Was there ever anyone who was actually winning, or is it just the slight? Yeah, I think the biggest lead in this entire game was here when they went back a second time with this move for no reason. And then to retain this lead, I had to play knight f6. So clearly, it's not a very big lead if we're going to call it a lead at all. Yeah. So it's basically a game where I felt like I was pressing, but my pressing never really came to fruition. So what I'd like to look at, though, is what if we took a different route? What if instead of doing all that stuff, I said, okay, I've got some decent things happening over here. I'll go here. My opponent castles. I will play g5 and start putting some pressure on. Let's say they don't do anything remarkable and they just make pieces slightly better. Engine likes just kind of the slow move that guy over. Maybe exchange there. C4 is always a decent break. Let's just say they went something like this. And now we can do things like move the rook over if we want and really try to attack, though the engine says white's doing well there, so I don't know. All right, looking at the game, engine says that no one was ever winning. My biggest lead was 1.6 when my opponent went here. Actually, I had something that this was a pretty big mistake, and what I should have done was played f4 here. That's very interesting. I would not have considered that. My focus was on this. Engine says best moves are like g takes, rook h6 to hit this pawn. I can go here to check and push him away. He goes back. Then I can go over here so I can kind of attack. They do get this pawn. And I have to see that, like, all of this is fine. I gave him a passed pawn. That's fine. It's no problem. That, I feel like, is hard stuff to see, right? But I can go here. They only have one move. And then I get to come in here. But they can go here. And so, I don't know. This is just hard for me to calculate all this ahead of time and say, clearly, I'm winning. Although this is... No, this isn't me. I don't know. This the computer says I'm crushing, but even still here, it's kind of like I don't know that I would say I'm crushing. Look, like looking at even the computer's best #1 move, they just go back, and then the computer's like, yeah, you just go here, and they go here, and then you just keep repeating. It's like, okay, but yeah, I guess you can go here to hit the pawn, and then I guess it makes sense that once you hit that pawn, and take it, you do have a pretty big lead. So I guess the bottom line is, when my opponent went here, I had some possibilities to make stuff happen there, but I really did not see that. And the computer does say I made one blunder. My blunder was indeed moving up and just being like, here's a pawn. So, I don't know. My big takeaways from the game are the following. One, I'm very well versed in the minority attack, and I did not calculate it at all, and clearly there was a big difference. I think usually I have a knight here on c6 when I do this minority attack, and so when I push this pawn, it is always guarded, so much to the point that I didn't calculate it. I didn't even realize I was hanging a pawn, and then we come out of it, and I'm like, wait, what? I think I'm going to be okay, but I was not aware I was hanging a pawn. It wasn't a gambit. It was a, oh, no. And then I think number two is, when you're in an endgame and you've been pressing, whether or not you actually had an advantage, it is very important to acknowledge that this is a draw, and if you try to make it a win, it is a loss. So those are kind of my two biggest takeaways, and I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time.